Thank you for tuning and watching Share with RKB. Olunaku olwaleero tuzze wano okuba nga tetumanya kwalira ku mmwe abaagala okuba nga mukusanya oral sex. Tutwala okuba nga twogera ku nsonga ezo, bulungi ki obukirimu na bubi ki obukirimu singa otandika okuba nga okozesa oral sex. Tuzze n'okulaba ku Dr. Karuhanga wa Friends Polyclinic wano ku Uganda House. Tugenda okuba naye olunaku olwaleero, so join me.
Biggest problem we have in Uganda is that the young people are the ones much involved in oral sex. And because of that, already the young men and women are not versed in safe sex.
It is so dangerous.
They want to do what others are doing.
The whites?
And especially if it is the whites, the reds, the blues, and so on, they really admire that and they do it. And yet it is a very big problem because it can, if it is done without protection, it is likely to transmit various diseases, including the famed stigmatized and dangerous HIV infection.
So you talked about the safe sex. What is safe sex?
Safe sex happens when a person protects himself or herself or the partner in a crime from having disease conditions from the pleasure of sex. And also, of course, not having pregnancy which is not wanted. If the sex is intended only for pleasure and you end up getting a sexually transmitted condition, or you end up causing pregnancy or getting pregnant, then that one has not been safe. And the safest mechanism in sex is a condom, because a condom, apart from preventing diseases, most diseases sexually, it can also prevent pregnancy. It is the only contraceptive element used by human beings which can prevent both sexually transmitted conditions and pregnancy. So that is why it is used. And moreover, the good thing is that there is a male condom, which is worn by men before they have sex, and then there is a female condom.
Though we don't use it more often.
In Uganda here, a female condom is not used so much because some people claim it makes noise, shwa, 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 and therefore you are supposed to do something hiding yourself. But then when people hear shwa, 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 they would say, there's something happening.
But is it true?
And that is the truth.
Okay.
Because of the material in which it is made, it makes that kind of noise. So now,
talking about the oral sex, because when you're saying that safe sex is when you use a condom, a male or a female, but now if we talk about oral sex, how do you protect that?
Oral sex can also be protected.
How?
How can it be protected? The man can protect himself by wearing a condom. And this condom may be of a flavor that a woman likes. And many women want matoke flavor. So it's not only the size of the matoke which matters, but also the flavor. So many men wear condoms which are flavored like that. But who is gaining from this oral sex when a man is using a condom? Well, the man is gaining more than the woman because the woman's sexual part is not the mouth.
Yeah, no.
The sexual part is the vaginal canal
Yes.
and the surroundings. But with today's definition of sex, it's very difficult to know which is the sexual part. Sometimes we walk with our mouth outside and yet they are sexual parts.
Right.
Sometimes we want to show off our bums and yet some people, those are sexual parts. Sometimes the breasts, and yet some people, breasts are sexual parts. Some people, the toes, the fingers,
The thighs, the navel,
anything,
the ears.
but many of them are sexual parts and they are walking with them outside and other people are seeing them. Now, how can a man be protected? A man should also be protected when doing oral sex. Unfortunately, we don't use a female condom, we use a dental dam. A dental dam can be cut out of a condom. You just get a condom, cut it out, and use that condom to make sure that you are not in contact with the private part.
Which condom are we talking about? The female
The
condom?
male condom.
Okay.
The male condom can be cut and it gets this shape, and then someone.
So how do you need that in the process?
Well, you should hold somewhere so that you don't put it, swallow it. Yes. It's very, very, very important.
So there you're protected.
Yeah, there you are protected. What disease conditions do we get?
Exactly.
You can get HIV. You can get hepatitis B or C.
With the mouth?
Yes.
HIV?
Yes.
Okay.
Though HIV is less, but there have been cases of HIV got orally. You can get what we call the fever blisters.
Yes.
The fever blisters, that is herpes simplex,
Yes.
can be on
This
the lips, can be on the private part. A long time ago, we used to say those ones on the lips are caused by herpes simplex type 1.
Okay.
And that type 1 does not cross the umbilicus to go to the private part. And the one which causes the same blisters on the private part, we used to say it was because of type 2, herpes simplex. But now, because of oral sex, we have them mixed up. They will cross the umbilicus, and you will not know that they are not. Thank God the treatment is the same. So they are DNA viruses, so they can be treated by a drug called Zovirax, much as viral conditions, including HIV, hepatitis B, herpes simplex, human papillomavirus, which can be transmitted by having unsafe oral sex, can never be cured. Yes, they can never be cured. And now we have to add on one condition called cancer of the throat.
What is that?
Cancer of the throat used to be because of drinking alcohol, too much neat alcohol. Because whenever we used to take neat alcohol, if you are taking neat alcohol and you don't make a face, then it's not neat enough.
Okay. So what is neat?
Now, neat is strong. It has less water in it. Now, the biggest problem comes that when oral sex is done and it's not protected, then human papilloma virus especially 16 and 18, can be transmitted. And once they are transmitted to the person who is using the mouth, then especially the type called 16 is likely to lead to cancer of the throat. And this 16 and 18 cause 70% of cancers of the cervix. But now I don't know whether the 16 mistakes the throat as
a cervix.
yes, cervix. One can go on to get that kind of condition.
So this condition is only in female or both female and male? The cancer of the throat.
Both female and male can get it.
And how can a male get it? Because a female does not come in the mouth.
Well, if a woman has human papilloma virus,
Yes.
In the private part,
Yes.
and a man gets in contact with the vaginal fluids of the woman, then those vaginal fluids reach the throat, they can cause cancer of the throat if the other person had human papilloma virus. Unfortunately, human papilloma virus may not be seen. A woman or a man who has it may not have symptoms, and you go in, you get the problem, and then you will not know that you got it from X or Y. You continue with him or her, then you get more, and you end up getting this.
That virus has like
the virus, once it goes into the body, it may not show itself. In fact, some people may not show any symptoms, and when they get pregnant, the symptoms come up. When they get older, the symptoms come up, and then they think they have just got the problem, and then they got it long before, and they may have actually transmitted it to another person, and that other person shows the symptoms before them. And then you will not know that the cause was actually this person who didn't have symptoms. So human papillomavirus, HIV, hepatitis B, cancer of the throat, all those are viral conditions which one can get, but you can get bacterial conditions. These bacterial conditions include gonorrhea. Yes, if that person has gonorrhea and you get in contact with the fluids, you are likely to get gonorrhea of the throat. Unfortunately, when one has gonorrhea of the throat, you will not know that it's gonorrhea, because we are used to gonorrhea being in the private parts. It is a very, very big problem for the young people, because the young people want to look young, and therefore they use their mouth, their tongues.
They want to explore
anywhere. And when they do that, to explore, they may end up with a disease condition which may never be cured.
How can I know that I have a cancer of the throat?
Cancer of the throat may start with the sore throat, may start with the one's voice getting muffled, or the voice disappearing. And if you are a woman and you lose the voice, the unfortunate thing is that your husband or your male partners will think they are very, very powerful. They cause you to even to lose
the voice.
And yet the problem may be that this kind of hoarse voice is because you are actually developing cancer of the throat. Much as it used to be for older people, it's no longer older people. The young people are getting it out of a germ called human papillomavirus, which is being, these days, which is being transmitted orally. through oral sex.
Does cancer of the throat does it have different symptoms from gonorrhea?
Cancer of the throat may have the same symptoms as gonorrhea at the beginning. The throat may be, the voice may be hoarse, and so on and so forth. One may have sore throat, and so on and so forth in both conditions. But if the gonorrhea takes like a week or more, the symptoms may disappear or may go to other areas. But if a person takes 2 months, 3 months, hoarse voice, and so on and so forth, then it is likely to be cancer. And once one has a hoarse voice, has a painful throat for some time, proper tests should be done to find out what is really causing the problem. And once the proper tests are done, then the doctor may conclude that what I thought was infection in the throat is actually cancer of the throat beginning. Sometimes the cancer of the throat may begin with the swellings called warts, but not always, because the cause of warts is usually not the cause of the cancer. Because we have the human papillomavirus 6 and 11 causing 90% of the warts, but human papilloma virus 16 and 18 causes 70% of the cancer of the cervix, and therefore you'll find that it is mostly those ones who are actually overactive in oral sex who may get both, which cause both human papillomaviruses, which cause the cancer, and those which cause the swellings called warts. Yeah, if one is too active, one may get both of them. Yes, yeah. But when you get one which causes the warts, the swellings, they may not be the ones which cause the cancer. So, but what if one gets any of the two, then that person is likely to get the other one. Okay. Because all of them are sexually transmitted, right. And you are doing oral sex without protection, then you are likely to get this.
What if my partner doesn't have any problem, any infection, but then I'm using oral sex and my partner comes inside my mouth? What dangers do I face after that?
Many people think that it is only when one comes that that person causes problems. For example, it has been seen that pre-cum, the liquid which is produced before a person ejaculates, this liquid is teeming with germs. So a person may not always have to come fast for that person to transmit some of these viral conditions, including HIV. No, it is true that blood sometimes, because these areas are not really for sex, because they are not for sex, they are easily injured. And therefore, it's not only the vaginal fluids or the semen which may come in contact with the other person's mouth and cause disease, but also that blood can cause issues. And the unfortunate thing is that some people, to show loyalty or love, they want to even swallow those fluids. Yes. And when you swallow them, then you're even causing the problem to be deeper than it is supposed to have been. Supposing you have peptic ulcers and you have swallowed, what's going to happen?
What happens?
then the germs might find their way through the stomach and go in. It's a very, very big problem, and these unnatural habits should stop. If they don't stop, they should be protected. Yes.
Okay, doctor. So as we wind up, what advices would you give the young generation, plus even us? Because you can find a woman like me also practicing oral sex.
The young generation should stop being referred to as the new degeneration. We refer to them as the new degeneration because some of the habits which they are engaged in are copied from other areas of the world. And these other areas of the world may have solutions for these kinds of problems. But like in Uganda, here, we don't have these solutions. So when we go into them, we are actually causing ourselves a big problem. Now, one thing is that if one can use the mouth only for food and talking, that is very good. You can use the mouth for crying and doing other things, but we wouldn't want you to use the mouth for sex because it is not naturally meant for sex. After all, how many mouths are you going to produce by doing oral sex? No, you don't need the mouth because the mouth needs feeding, and you are not ready to feed those mouths, and you will not get them anyway. So the most important thing is that if ever you want to do oral sex, please get protection. You can even talk to your health provider. That health provider will advise you accordingly. Because health providers will not tell you lies, and at the same time, they will not tell other people what you told them. So it is very, very important to talk to them. I know in the heat of the battle, many people may not want to talk. I know sometimes you may be taken by surprise, but you want to show yourself. Please know that showing yourself should be a lifetime thing. It shouldn't be just for a short time when you are alive and you are going to kill yourself by what you do. So it is very, very important that if ever you want to do oral sex, make sure it is protected. This business of I checked myself, don't believe in I checked myself. Even in HIV, we say this. Please don't have unprotected sex with a person whose HIV status you don't know.
They have strips they walk around with.
Now, many people have strips they walk around with. You cannot trust them because they are not in an ideal condition of being very useful. That's one. Two, you are not aware whether they have expired or not. Another thing is that why would the person walk with them? There is a reason why that person is working with them. And people are now believing that, for example, if a person has taken aspirin, then he will be HIV negative.
Exactly.
Those things are not true. Once HIV positive, even if one is on the best drugs for HIV, it is the viral load which will go down, but the positivity will remain. But we always advise that if a person has strips and is negative, still don't have sex with that person. Or if you have, please use a protection, especially a condom. Why? Because that person could be in the window period. Now, if that person is in the window period, that person may be negative, but then transmit the disease condition.
That's the window period.
Yes. And to avoid that, we normally say, let a person check HIV for example, like now, and then check again in 3 months. So if after 3 months that person is negative, then that person is likely to be negative. But if you don't have any patience, please use protection. Yes.
Some say that if you're not sure the person you're doing the oral sex with, you take a lemon immediately after to wash away the bacteria.
The lemon has been taken, and it is good food. You never know, it could be good food also for the germ for which you are taking it. So be careful with taking lemon. Lemon may be bitter to your mouth, but may not be bitter to a virus which has no mouth. Yes, and therefore it may not affect that virus.
Okay.
Yes.
You said that it's not curable. So if I get that infection in my throat, like practicing oral sex and I get an infection in my throat,
if you get the infection in the throat, we are not sure whether you are going to clear it. If it is hepatitis B, you may clear it. If it is not cleared after 6 months, then it has turned chronic.
Wow.
So if it is HIV, HIV cannot be cured. It cannot be cured by your own resistance. It cannot be cured by drugs. If it is herpes simplex, it cannot be cured. If it is human papillomavirus, it may not be cured. If it is something like bacterial infection, including gonorrhea, that one can be cured, but it can easily weaken the areas it has affected, so that you may get now the more dangerous ones like HIV much more easily. So be very, very careful with oral sex, because oral sex, unless it is protected, or even when we talk about protection, it should be proper protection, because it is not known, and there is a word trust which comes with the word sex, and many people will start pretending that you don't trust them, or you trust them, you will pretend to trust them, and therefore to show trust, you have to have unprotected sex. All these issues come up, and they spoil everything which love is meant for. Love is not meant to kill. Love is meant to reproduce. Love is meant to make one happy. It shouldn't be meant to kill.
So how are we going to spice up our love life?
Spicing up our love life is good, but it shouldn't be for a short time. It should be forever. And this is why even the good Lord said, I've created a human being. I've created him with a love and cuddle hormone. That love and cuddle hormone which we produce during this activity should make sure that we are together forever. And forever does not mean for a very short time, because we have got a disease condition from not using protection during sex, and then we die so quickly. We shouldn't. We should live much longer. Anything which will make us die faster is not good spice for our sexual life.
So does this also happen to people who use their bum for sex?
The bum is for passing stool, and because this is for passing stool, it is not protected sexually. Some bums have hairs, other bums, because they may have bleed easily, they can easily get infection. That's why homosexuals easily get these infections, especially HIV. So, since the bum is not sexually protected, so one should not use it for sex. It's not for sex. It is for passing stool. Sex is for only two parts. The vaginal part for the woman and the penile part for the man. So the mouth, the fingers, unless the fingers are for stimulation, they shouldn't not go beyond stimulation. So one should avoid them and do the correct thing to spice one's love life up.
What of the dildos and stuff like that?
The dildos can be used if someone has a problem, but using a dildo once in a while is okay. But when you use them, you should know that you are like one doing masturbation. When you use a dildo today, you will want to use it another time because of one problem, that the sexual parts are soft. And because they are soft, when you go for a dildo is harder. When you go for masturbation, you do it the hard way. So eventually you stop feeling when you are using the natural part. And because of the guilt which is also associated with that, and because sex is mostly in the mind, 80% of sex is in the mind. So you are going to end up with one problem. And the problem will be increasing interest in using a dildo, increasing interest in masturbation, and eventually you will prefer them to the natural way, which is meant not only for people coming together, but it is also important for reproduction.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karuhanga, for your time.
You are welcome.
So, tuli wano ku Friends Polyclinic we tuli wano ku Uganda House ewa Dr. Karuhanga era nga twali tuzze okwogera ku oral sex kanso entolina kyozzeemu. Until next time, Ruth Bye.